Alright folks, welcome back to the workshop. Uh, Sorry if you can hear some wind noise, it is absolutely blowing a gale outside, and when you work in a tin shed that all gets amplified. But anyway, we are back with a new project today. See, I got a delivery of some fresh timber, and yeah, we're kicking off with yet another workbench build. So in the last video I built this workbench here, which turned out absolutely fantastic. And I was toying with my next project was either going to be just another one of these, because I do want to build another one, or it was going to be the big workbench that I teased at is going to be a full sheet of OSB size. So I decided that's what we're actually doing today. We're going to build that workbench today. I think it's going to take me a while to build it, so this will probably be multiple days, a lot of cuts in between. But yeah, that's what we're doing, and you guys can watch it. Oh, also, bonus, got myself a new table saw. Ooh, nice machine. Only used it once up to now, but yeah, really like it. So we're going to use that, hopefully, on this project. Well, actually, we might not use it all. It might all just be the miter saw, but we'll see. So yeah, that's what we're doing, building a new workbench. Let's get to it. The design for this workbench isn't really anything particularly special. My main requirement was that I wanted to basically make it the size of a full-size 8x4 sheet, so that I could have just a lot of space to work on, storage space underneath, all that good stuff. Other requirements I had are that I'd be able to lift it up on folding casters and be able to roll it around the workshop as needed. So for all of that, it needs to be pretty heavy duty, so that it doesn't warp or bend as you move it around. It is massively overbuilt, but it is in fact the first ever woodworking project that I actually fully designed in CAD before I went out to the workshop and started cutting any wood for it. This was twofold. It makes it a little bit easier for me to do the design thinking without having to be constrained with what I'm doing at the time. And also it means then that when I'm out making, I can just make. I don't have to think too much about the design. I've already solved most of the design decisions, and I'm just executing at that point, which is really nice. One thing to note is that I didn't actually follow all the dimensions, so you will see me measuring things throughout this video. And that's just because the timbers are, they're nominally sized. They're planed all over, they're nominally sized, so you can't guarantee exactly what size they actually are going to turn out to. So some of the relationships are based just purely off of, well, what would fit in an 8x4 sheet, and measuring off of the sheets to make sure that I got the dimensions matching up there. But then all the gaps that are to do with any kind of thickness of the material, that was all measured off the materials and then applied to it. So I couldn't rely on a cut list, which I did make up, but I couldn't actually rely on that in the end. So first thing to do today, we have to get the base on, or that's what we want to do, get the first layer of OSB onto the bottom. And to do that, I need to get, there's going to be some middle pieces here. So I need to get them cut. Oh, can I get them out of this? Yes, I can get them both out of this. Okay. Well, that'll work. So yeah, it's just going to be a piece across the middle here. 2 pieces. I'll space them just beside each other. Basically on the length of this. So I need to cut this piece into 2. And then screw them in. I want to screw them in from the inside, so I need to have them offset slightly so that I can do that. Geez, the frame is so wobbly. Obviously, I think this part of the floor is not very level, but it's incredibly wobbly. That, though, wobble should all start to come out of it as I build it up. So this is the bottom. And when I get the sheet of OSB down, it's going to build it right up. And yeah, so the next thing then, once I get this in, I need to cut my notches. So I'm going to bring the sheet of OSB over here, prop it up, mark out the notches, cut them out with the jigsaw, and then sink it down and screw it to the base. That's what we're doing. Time to go. All right. Measuring time. All right. Sometimes you do have to admit defeat. I got all of the little corners notched out for the top to sit down over the uprights here, and I was trying to manhandle it into place myself. This is where I got to. So I'm going to need a little bit of assistance for this one, so I'm going to wait to get my lovely assistant on hand to help me gently lift this down in place. I could get this down over it myself, but I think I would damage something. I'd probably just be tugging on these uprights that aren't super secure yet unnecessarily. So yeah, gonna wait for some extra muscle, and then we're gonna keep going. So we just need to lift it up, and then
like seesaw it.
No, just drop it straight down.
You should be wearing your gloves.
Huh?
You should be wearing your gloves.
You're wearing my gloves.
It's good and solid.
Job done. Hell yeah.
Am I done now?
You girl. You my new shop assistant? Yeah? Hi. Yeah. Alright, so we made some progress. We got the base screwed down and it's nice and level. And you'll see this big mess here of stuff. So this is me thinking. I've got 2 cross pieces here clamped in place. And the whole idea for this is there's going to be a shelf in the middle. Originally it was just going to be halfway up here. But what I've decided is that I actually want there to be a bigger shelf and a smaller shelf. Reason being that the bigger shelf is going to be for storage of some tools that I don't use all the time. So that's why I have the lathe here. Basically just trying to figure out the
minimum height that the shelf needs to be. And then, because if this one is, you know, that little bit higher, then I'm going to have this shelf be a little bit shorter. Just so happens that while I lay this out, these small little veg boxes I have happen to fit pretty much perfectly in the small gap. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I think this is what we're going to work with. I didn't film any of this because it was just me standing around thinking, which wouldn't make for great content. So next step now, I'm pretty sure this works. I'm going to just double check all my measurements, make sure I've included enough thickness for the sheet of OSB, and then get cutting and get going. And then we're going to make the middle section, then we're going to make the top, and then almost done. Just a couple of little features that I'm going to add to the bench once it's all assembled. But I might leave them for another video, see how long this one's getting. Anyway, that's what we're doing.
So I made a silly mistake here. When I did the bottom, I screwed this piece into the upright first, and then the sides got screwed on. So you may realize what I've done wrong here. I screwed the sides on first, which did make sense for trying to get the heights and the plane kind of right for it. But now I've realized that I can't screw this in because I don't screws long enough. Silly mistake, but I'll just have to pre-drill some holes through the outside piece so that I can bury the screws all the way through. And I literally just realized that as I set up my clamps to screw this piece in, and then realized that, hey, I can't screw that in. So yeah, gotta do some drilling. Then I'll get it in. Oh well. I just got done cutting this piece, and now I'm going to try and sink it down out of the frame. I'm going to try to do this on my own and see if I can manage it. I had to get some assistance to do the bottom, but I might be able to do this piece because it's a little higher up, it's not as bendy, but it is awkward. It's not so much the weight of it, it's just how awkward it is. Now, I don't recommend doing this on your own. I am fairly strong, and I'm finding manhandling these boards around, I'm kind of twisting in awkward ways that my back doesn't really like, so I don't recommend doing this on your own. But, let's see what we can do. Hopefully this slips in nice. Whoa! Wow, there we go. Wow. I didn't think that was going to happen. Very tight. Very tight. Okay. So I can either just sort of sit on it or something and try and get it to wedge down. Oh, well, there we go. Oof. Not a great fit. Not a great fit. Bottom one was much better. But I did suspect this was going to happen. As when I was measuring this up, you know, I didn't really take any precautions to make this square or anything. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not square. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's not flush there. You know, is what it is. It was never going to be flawless, but it doesn't really need to be. It just needs to be a solid surface, and this is very solid. So, here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's rock solid. For reference, I weigh like 130 kilos. So,
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I ain't going nowhere. Nice! Put some screws in it. I mean, arguably it doesn't even need screws, but I'll put them in anyway. Okay, we are pretty much finished. There we go. We have our top on, not screwed down yet, but this is pretty much the main construction of the whole workbench finished now. So there's a few pieces left. These side bits here, where there's some gaps, I'm going to fill those in with 4x2s. So basically it'll give me a kind of a 4x4 leg strut on each piece, which is why I left little cutouts in the OSB to receive those. So I just need to cut those off some offcuts and screw them in. The main reason for that is because down here at the bottom is where my casters are going to attach. So I want a nice solid leg structure that goes the whole way up for the force to go through when the casters are in use. I haven't actually screwed down the top surface yet, so I need to screw that down. The top surface needs a good seal coat, which I'll do the same thing I did for this bench, just polyurethane. And then I have a couple of other things I need to do, which maybe will be in the next video. So I have a vise that's going to go on the side here, like a large woodworking vise. I also have another vise that I'll probably put on this side, which is kind of like a just a metalworking swivel vise. And then I also plan to drill a bunch of holes in the top here for dog holes. And then I can use different hold downs and stuff. As the little vise I have here has a little thing that pops up out of the back of it, so I can then clamp large boards if I install bench dogs, which would be super handy. But yeah, this is what I've done so far today. It's been a pretty good day's work. I'm kind of tired, so I might leave this for today and come back the next day. But yeah, we'll see what else I can get done. I'm pretty happy with the fit as well. Hard to see with it was blown out, but the edges are all pretty even all around. There's a little bit of an overhang here, a little bit of a lip that I'll take off with the trim router, and then on this side as well there's a small bit of a gap here, but honestly it's like a few millimeters, which, you know, over the length of the whole workbench, considering I didn't take any real precautions to make sure it was square and level and stuff, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. So yeah, that's the guts of this workbench done. But yeah, I got a few more bits to do, so that's probably not the end of the video. I'll probably keep rolling for a little bit longer, and yeah, we'll see what else we can get done. All right, let's do some stuff. I gotta screw down this top. We'll do that next. Let's do that.
Hey, Editor Ian here. This video was starting to run on a little bit, so I've decided I'm actually going to cut it here so you can come back for part 2, where you're going to see me installing the new vices, installing the MFT holes, and you'll see the whole final workbench at the end. So, as always folks, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.